Hey, what's up, guys? There's still a lot of people coming into ashran not knowing what to do. Might be a little bit of laziness on their part not researching it, but I wanted to make a video just kind of going over some things. I've spent a lot of time gearing up tunes. I have quite a few 100s, and I found the fastest way to gear out a tune and get it ready for PvP or even PvE is to come in an ashran and do a very specific grind, and it doesn't take too long. Best time to do this grind is going to be early morning, between the hours of that's good between like 2-3 o'clock in the morning till about like 7-8 o'clock, around like Pacific Mountain Standard Time. So if you're Alliance, you're going to cross the bridge and come over here, and right here next to the road, right where I'm standing, there'll be a tree stump that you can loot for artifacts. On that little platform down there, you can jump off from here with your mount, and sometimes there's one there. Check those two spots. Then we're going to duck in here to ABG, and we're going to ride right around the front of these two buildings here. Sometimes the little healer person might be in there. You can stop and grab real quick, and then we're going to jump on over to this area, and right dead ahead there on that little stone platform at the end where that skeleton is, there will be a cache there. Then if you drop down right here next to this skeleton, there can be a cache right there. So after you've checked those two locations and you deal with all the collision right there, we are going to jet over here. And there's one of the healers. Looks like this guy's going to grab it. I'm not too worried about it. Let him have it. And then you're going to jump down here, hop onto that rock, jump off. The skeleton right here, there can be a cache right there. And by cache, I mean a little treasure chest or something, bag that's going to contain artifact fragments. Then we're going to ride up through here. You want to be mindful on what events are going on, because gather up 300 artifact fragments. You don't want to run into any horde that are going to gank you. Next to the skeleton right here, next to the first pillar, there is also a potential cache there. You can tell other people are out here doing it because I don't see anybody. Right across the way here, in the rock island, there's a tree over there with 3 stones. To the right of that, there'll be a little stump there that you can get artifact fragments off. I'm not going to go over there because it's not there, so you'll be able to see it from there. Nifty little thing you may not have known about. It took me a little while to figure this out. The little slimes that run through this area, little green, really fast slimes, if you can click them as they run by, they will give you a buff that will give you a little burst of speed periodically. Nice thing to have. If you stand right here in the boat and look through the window, there's a little crate on the ground, and next to the crate there can be a cache in there. You don't actually have to go into the boat, you can just stand right there and peek in. In your next spot, you're going to cruise up here. You can do the bonus in these areas if you haven't done them. Your DPS class has decent gear. Otherwise, if you're not geared out yet, it's really not going to be worth your time. Although with the gear scaling up to 700, it's quite feasible. Had to kill that one. It knocked me off my mount. Seems to happen more frequently the less gear you have. So over here, this is a very rare one, but in between this right here, and there's a sparkle here. I don't know, it's like under the map or something. It's been that way all expansion. But there can be a rare chest right here. Just as you're riding by, just peek over there and take a look and see if it's there. If not, then keep riding up here. Right about here, there can be a stump that spawns that you can get artifact fragments off of. Then we're going to ride. We're riding it right underneath the Horde Bridge right now. Right underneath the bridge in this bush right here, there can be a cache there. Sorry about the blinking. I've been up all night and eyes are getting a little dry. Oh, now we got this warrior who wants some. I'm going to come over here and get this. This is the BR buff. Basically gives you a shield around you. Oh, looks like he didn't want to keep fighting me. It's a pretty nice buff. As you stay out of combat, it starts building up a shield more and more around you, and it gets up there about 300k or so. It's pretty nice. While you're going to these areas like BR and AOA and stuff like that, look on your little radar map at the top right, and look for like a circle with spikes around it. That's the ancient artifact that gives everybody the buff and gives you that beam of light coming out. You can do your group a favor while you're out picking up caches if you can grab that and bring it to the group and just drop it off and let somebody else take it. Because if you're trying to farm honor to get your PvP gear, you're not worrying about the events. If you happen to swing by and you don't have any artifact fragments on you that you could potentially lose, definitely go swing by to the events, but we are not in here to do events when you're trying to get your honor gear. Oh, I actually missed a spot too. I'll have to show you that one. So if you cruise on up here at the top of the hill right here, there can be one right there. And then in this area over here, there's right here, there's one. There's these little tuber things, and whoa, my bag is full. They're pretty nifty. You get it's like basically a healthstone, but it also reduces damage taken by 40% for 10 seconds. So if you are full of caches and someone's trying to gank you, pop in one of those when they hit their burst. You just might stay alive, but not likely if you're not geared. So over in this area, this is at the MQ, the quarry, there's these little green dead corpses on the ground that are like glowing. Hopefully there's one here. And this is also a place where you can look for the AA, the ancient artifact. And if you cruise on up here at the top of this, next to this little corpse right here that's smoking, there's going to be a cache right there. So I'm going to just backdrop off of this, go in the cave here, because I am looking to get the buff, and there is quite a few of them inside the cave. And there's also a cache in here. Now you're going to find a lot of little treasure chests and caches and stuff in here. Most of them don't give you anything. They're quite pathetic. And this one's there. See a little sparkle next to that stone? That is one of the things that we are looking for in these spawn places that I've shown. And pick that up. 74 artifact fragments. So as you can see, and those can get up to about 150. The large caches, you can get those in the range. I've gotten them up to like 350 artifact fragments. And the reason why you want to do this late at night or early in the morning when there's not a lot of people on and kind of wait for that slowness is there's nobody else doing this at those times. And see, I just picked up one of those. It gave me 5. So most of these in here, they're just nothing in them, unfortunately, except for that one that's by the stone that I picked up. And everybody's taking the buffs out of the cave. I didn't see any. But look for the green corpse. It's a nifty little buff. Every couple seconds you can jump, and then you can jump again in the air and kind of kick off the air and do that 3 times. Helps you get up on ledges, helps you get out of trouble if people trying to gank you, because you don't want to lose those artifact fragments at all costs. Like right now, did a run, only got 85, only ended up getting 1 cache, and that's because I'm almost in a 40-man raid, so between Horde and Alliance, there's a lot of people grabbing these. Okay. So we didn't get the buff. I'm going to go ahead and drop in and turn these in. So going over some of the other events and whatnot in here, some people may not know what you have to do, and the biggest questions that you usually run into is when you go into the mine, you have to get 30 of the I guess they're marks, and a lot of people don't know how to get those. Just getting a killing blow on one of the white spirit looking NPCs in there once the event starts, that gives you the marks, and you'll get a buff on you. So I just turned in 85 of those artifact fragments, and the conversion was 257 honor points. So you can see that was only 85. On a good run, you're going to get 350. I've gotten really lucky and gotten some of the greater caches and had most of the other caches there and came back with up to 800. Forgotten to turn them in and made 2 laps one time, and I went to go loot one, and I was actually capped at 1,000 artifact fragments, and I think it's a 3-to-1 conversion ratio. So imagine you're gonna get 3,000 honor in one sitting. So there's the stump right there. 66 fragments off that. The one on the platform's not there. Gonna duck in here in ABG, see if we can find a priest. I'll actually grab it this time. Only problem, like, I'm in here doing this as holy just because I got tired of playing ret. I'm actually trying to play holy RBG's main spec on this one, so kind of wanted to get used to it and start playing it again. I've played Holy Paladin quite a bit, PvP'd pretty hardcore on it through Burning Crusade. Actually tested ret in Burning Crusade when people used to call it LOL ret because everybody thought it was terrible, and it started to transform, and BC started to come along, and that was some of the first ret PvP that the game has seen. So the other one wasn't there. Go cruise around. So I'm actually off to a good start. I'm already have 112, have more this time than I did the last time. So I'm gonna duck in here and get this priest. So these little web dudes right here, just go in and focus them down first. Just go at them hard. And you can see this bubble that I have on me, it's absorbing all the damage. So I still have 36,000. So now you get this little priest dude, and it's going to smite stuff, it's going to fear, it's going to heal you. If you're under geared, this is a great little addition to kind of help you out. Yeah, it's a little painful doing this as holy, but I don't often aggro stuff, so unless you get dismounted or something, or you have to try to get one of these priest things, you always get these spider spawns. It makes it kind of a pain in the butt. And that priest does an incredible amount of damage. It's nice to have. Yeah, probably pick a DPS spec. I don't know. It kind of goes either way. If you're not a DPS spec and you go in there as a tank or a healer, you're going to have a hard time when you aggro NPCs. The other flip side of that is if you do go in there as a healing spec, then if you run into some horde, there's the potential that you could stay alive. As you're in here and they're looting horde and stuff like that, these little things to roll on, definitely need on those. If you need honor, you can go turn those in for a big chunk of honor. And so I'm going to drop down over here. Looks like the flag's at crossroads over here, and so we want to try to avoid an interaction with some horde there. And I don't see the horde. Must have just came back from an event. I'm going to make one more lap through here and show you guys. Missed one of the cache spots and just kind of let you see, get a little reminder on where these things are at, and hopefully more of them will pop up for us. And that one's there. We're going to have a good run this time. I just barely got back into streaming again, so I'm going to have my stream channel up on Twitch. My Twitch name is Nightstorm with 2 T's in the end of night. You have to watch out for these padding guys right here. If they pat all the way over there, you can get this first. And look, see, I rolled on one of those items earlier, the troll feet. Actually got it. But they will pat up there, and then they will pat back, and they're elites, and they will almost one-shot you. So don't aggro them. One thing to keep in mind is when you're in here collecting artifact fragments, if you die from either NPCs or from the opposing faction, you are going to lose half of the artifact fragments that you have on you. See, I got this horde warrior over here to worry about. Here's the green slime thing. So basically want to try to click on that thing. I wasn't able to get it. They're really fast. And got it. Then it gives you that little green buff up here. It's really nice, especially if you need to like get away from horde or NPCs or something you aggroed. See, normally when you go in the boat, the little cache, since I fell off there at this Gigantor mount, the cache would be right by that skeleton right there. And so you have to jump down, and then you're going to have to get in the water. Also in here, there's rare bosses at various different locations. You'll see them as a skull on your minimap. And when you kill those, there's class-specific items in here that give a unique buff or ability to different classes. The one for Paladin that I'm playing now gives you a Jailer's Judgment ability. 3-minute cooldown. Basically what this does is if you throw it and use the ability and hit somebody with it, if they don't take damage within, I think it's like 5 seconds, it teleports them to your base into a jail cell where they can just open it and walk out, but it's going to increase the likelihood that they're going to get killed by somebody on our faction, and it takes them out of the fight. So if you are team fighting with the rest of the group, going to events and whatnot, it's good to use that on the AA as long as you know they're not going to take damage if they're sitting at the back or something like that. It's kind of risky with the AA because everybody's trying to go for it. They're always trying to kill the AA. Whoa, we do not want to go in BR. Luckily, due to the slow phasing in here, sometimes you can poke in, poke out, and they won't notice you if you do it fast enough, because there is some phasing slowness in here. So here's the other location right here, these 2 skeletons where you can find one. I'm going to skip the BR one due to everybody there. And here's the Songflowers. You can go up and loot these, and they're going to give you 15% to your stats for an hour. So loot a couple of those, keep those on hand, keep that buff up. It's going to help you out. Here's one of the rares here, which is actually up. You can't solo that one. Maybe we're going to see a video on a DK soloing it at some point in time, but it's not that easy. Maybe a healer and like a DK could do it. I've done it with a healer and DK. Me healing it with pretty decent gear. You don't want to be in here in crap gear trying to heal that. Give you a little bit of a hard time. So I've made the rounds. I might go through and do a video on some of the events, actually how to complete those and whatnot. Most of them are pretty explanatory. Some of it can be a little bit like, what am I supposed to be doing? But I have a 100 of every class. I primarily like to play healers. My main is a Holy Priest, which I am forced to play Disc sometimes because Holy Priest is not amazing in PvP or PvE as of the last couple expansions. But it's my go-to. But I do enjoy playing all of the healers. And here's the other one. I don't know if I mentioned this one over here. Here's a little stump here. That will have fragments. And misclick that. I'm going to go ahead and keep this video going just to show you the turn-in and what kind of honor you can get from this. This is by far more efficient than battleground skirmishes. Like even with skirmish weekend, we just had my priest is still aggroed on something. Even with the skirmish weekend, we just had like I think it was like 200% honor increase from doing skirmishes. Still doesn't compare. You are going to get far more honor from doing this than anything in the game. It is broken how fast you can gear out a character. And one of the green dudes is there, so check this out. Right there, little green corpse dude. You click that and then you jump, get the little green bars on the side, you jump again, you jump again, you jump again. And you don't take any fall damage once you've used that once. There's a little shortcut to get in here. And so on this run, we ended up with 428 artifact fragments. You can either turn it into this to get tree ant dude. Look, blue exclamation mark is up, which means our riders aren't out. So tell them to take all your artifact fragments, and we were responsible right there for getting the riders back out on the road solely. And that was 1,285 honor. So that was almost like a ring or neck right there in one run. So now you can go over to the vendor here and pick out what you want to buy, repair, sell off some of the extra pieces that you got along the way. And that is how you gear out in Ashran. Thank you guys for watching. Check out my stream, Night Storm 2Ts at the end of night, and I'll have some other videos up at a later time. Thank you guys.